Hey guys. Alright, here we go. Makeup collection updated version. Alright, I'm going to start here. This is just a tray sitting on top of some organizers for things that are not for makeup. And this is where I just put whatever makeup I used that day. So these are all the makeup items that I'm wearing right now. And some of these items I use repeatedly day after day, but some of them, and usually a lot of them, get switched out. And then behind that I just have some baskets, and right now I have those little ColorMates nude lip liners that come with the ColorMates lipsticks because they don't fit in my regular organizers for my lip liners, which is what I have here. This is just, let me move that so you can see. This is just an office supply thing that I'm using for lip liners, and then this is from Primark. I love these. I have one of these for lip liners, and I have one for my makeup eye brushes and one for my eyeliners, which you'll see in a minute. Okay, so then we're going to move over here, and this is the Alex IKEA unit that most people have, and I've had mine for many years. I would say, if I had to guess, probably about 7 years. And the reason why people have them is they hold a lot of makeup, but they hold up really well over time. They're very well made. It comes as a kit. You put it together yourself and it will last a long time. On top of that is this letter D that has little bulbs in it. I got this at Target. I thought it was cute. It's just battery operated, and you always see that on in my videos. And behind that I have a file holder that I got in an office supply store because it's the perfect thing to hold my large palettes. I have the Sephora Pro palette that came out last year. That's the one that's really colorful. I have this Sephora palette that has my single Anastasia eyeshadows in it. I have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, the Morphe 350 palette, and then my two Coastal Scents palettes. This is the Ultra Shimmer 88 palette and then the original 88 palette. So that's what's on top of the IKEA unit. Now this top drawer right here is basically a junk drawer. It's messy, it's got a lot of junk in it, and none of it is interesting, but I'm not going to show you that because it's just a mess in there, and there really is hardly any makeup in there. It's like all different weird things. Everybody has a junk drawer, right? Even in your makeup collection. So we'll skip over that and start with the second drawer. In this second drawer I have all my concealers and correctors. These are just makeup brushes that don't fit in the area where I store most of my makeup brushes. I do use some of these occasionally, but I just don't have room for all my makeup brushes in one spot. And then this is just one of those sponge applicators that came with a recent powder that I just bought, and these are those sponge tip applicators that most people throw away. I keep a few of those because they do work with certain kinds of makeup items really well, so I just have a few of those. And then in the next drawer, this is one of my drawers that has drugstore blushes in it. This has Milani, ColorMates, LA Colors, Physicians Formula, Jordana, Makeup Revolution, and City Color and CoverGirl. And this is the other drawer for the drugstore blushes. Wet n Wild, Essence, Sleek. I see another City Color, LA Girl, Elf, and I think that's it. And this drawer has my high-end blushes: NARS, Benefit, MAC, Illamasqua, and Bare Minerals. The next drawer has bronzers and contours, high-end and drugstore. This is my highlighter drawer, and it goes way back. There's a lot of highlighters in here, and yeah, there's a lot in there, so it's hard to find what you're looking for because there's too many in here. This is my high-end palette drawer, and this is all I have for high-end palettes. I know most people have a lot of those, but I prefer single eyeshadows. But yeah, these are my high-end palettes. I have 4 Too Faced in the back. I have 2 Kat Von D's. I have the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. Then I have 3 Lorac palettes, 1 Laura Mercier, 1 Becca. These are my Makeup Geek single eyeshadows just because they're not high-end, but I just store them in this drawer. I have a palette by The Balm. I have the Viseart Neutral Matte palette. I have a NARS Duo. This is a MAC palette. I have 2 Chanel palettes and 3 Bare Minerals palettes. So that's all I have for high-end eyeshadow palettes. In this bottom drawer though, these are my MAC single eyeshadows. And I have them organized by color. Like this one has all the greens, and these are some browns, some more browns. This one has black, pewter, and gray. This one has taupes, and so on and so forth. There's some purples, and that's just how I like to organize them. I find it's a lot easier to lay your hands on a particular shadow if they're marked by color. And then the next section is right here. So here's my makeup brushes. These are IKEA planters, and I just like keeping my brushes in those. This is just a Wet n Wild Kabuki brush, doesn't fit in these other containers. These are Wet n Wild loose pigments that I repackaged in a pill organizer because the packaging is not good on the original packaging, so this way I can get into it a lot easier. These are some storage units that they were throwing away where my husband worked, and so he said, no, don't throw it away, I'll take it. And he was going to use it for something for himself, but then when I saw them, I said, oh, those would be so great for lipsticks, so he let me have them. And I just put post-its on the drawers of the colors. I have all my lip products organized by color. For example, you know, like this one is browns, and then this says clear or iridescent. This one says pink. This one says peaches, oranges, and corals. This is purples, lavenders, and violets, so you get the idea. And then when you open the drawers, I just have, like, I try to group them, like these are like bullet type lipsticks, and then the next one would be like liquid lipsticks, so they fit better if you try to group them together by size like that. So this is one unit right here, and then this is another one, and there's some empty drawers on the top of that one, plus I have this one is completely empty. I wanted to leave room for expansion just in case I went on a wild lipstick buying spree. It's much easier to organize things when you have empty containers and storage units than it is the other way around. That's when you run into problems with things getting very difficult to find. But yeah, if I'm doing a look, I love having these organized by color. It's just so much easier to put a look together. I used to have them by brand, but I feel like color works out a lot better. But when it comes to eyeshadows, I like to organize things by brand. This is just a very basic, cheap, inexpensive drawer that I've had for a long time. This has all my Wet n Wild in it. These are all limited edition palettes and permanent palettes, and there's some singles in there, but this is all full of Wet n Wild eyeshadows. I think Wet n Wild is such a great brand for the price. This bottom drawer is everything I have by Urban Decay. I've got the Naked palettes, I've got the Naked Basics palettes, I've got the Shadow Box palettes, I've got the Ammo palette, and then I've got a few singles. So that's what I have from Wet n Wild. I think my biggest regret was that I never got the Wizard of Oz palettes. Remember those? Those were so pretty, but I very rarely buy super expensive palettes like that because, well, I've talked about this before. I don't like to buy a lot of limited edition things because then I always feel bad that, you know, you guys wouldn't be able to get something that I showed. So I try to stick to the permanent things, but I occasionally buy a limited edition thing. Like this Naked on the Run, this was limited edition. Alright, so let's move on to these. These are just Sterlite containers that you can get at like Target or Walmart. Up on the top of this one I have a gel liner by Clean Color, and then I have all my pencil eyeliners. And on the other one I have brush cleaners and setting sprays. And in the back I have my eye brushes, and this is another one of those Primark containers, and so isn't this. We have 3 Primarks in Massachusetts. Okay, so what's in these plastic units? I have Post-its again, and I have the eyeshadow brands that are in here. So this one is Colormates and BYS. And oh yeah, speaking of BYS, I bought this BYS palette at Family Dollar, but guess where I saw BYS the other day? Macy's. I couldn't believe it. Macy's has a like bargain section now at some of their stores. Oh, I can't remember. Macy's Backstage, I think it's called. And it's just like more affordable brands of makeup. If you have one of those, you might want to take a look at it because it was such a strange, odd mishmash of things. But anyways, Colormates I get at Big Lots, and BYS I usually get at Family Dollar. And in the next drawer, this is my high-end single eyeshadows that are not MAC or Urban Decay. I have Bobbi Brown, Estee Lauder, Buxom, Makeup Forever, Gabriel Cosmetics, and what did I forget? There's one Sephora. I think that's about it. This next drawer is L'Oreal. Mostly single eyeshadows, because I really do prefer single eyeshadows, and then I think I have like one quad. This next drawer is what I have for ColourPop. I have some Super Shock shadows. I have one single pressed eyeshadow, and then I have some pressed eyeshadows that are in palettes. This one here is the very first one that they ever released. When ColourPop first launched eyeshadows, this was the collab they did with Amanda Steele. This is what I have from NYX. I have this Wanderlust Copenhagen palette, and then I have the Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette. I have the Earth palette. That's one of the ones that they collabed with some YouTubers on. And then I have a bunch of singles. I still have never tried the hot singles. All the singles that I have are the Nude Matte, the Baked, and the Originals, and the Prismatic. I have still not tried the hot singles yet. This drawer doesn't have much in it. It has Kiss eyeshadows and Ulta brand eyeshadows. These are all my powders, and there's so many in here that I can't even open the drawer all the way. I have pressed powders, loose powders, And I've just only recently started going back to using powder. I don't have any on today because I have on a cream to powder foundation, but I enjoy powder, but I have to be careful because my skin is like normal to dry, but I really feel like it completes your makeup and just makes it look flawless. So those are all my powders. The next drawer is also jam-packed. This is foundations and primers. I am gonna have to put myself on a no-buy for foundations because I cannot fit any more in this drawer. There's loads of them in there. But it is really fun to try new foundations, I have to admit. So again, I don't think I can get this drawer open all the way, but there they all are. Probably the most beautiful makeup item that I own are my pigments. This whole bottom drawer is full of pigments, all different brands. Everything from MAC to the $1 pressed pigments that I got from, oh no, the name just went right out of my head. You know that website that everything's $1? Oh, I hate it when that happens. I'm having a senior moment. I can't, you know what website I'm talking about. Anyway, those are all the pigments. There's tons of them. But yeah, there's something about pigments. Oh my God, they're so gorgeous. I love them. Okay, now we're coming over to the other units here. These are all my CoverGirl and e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes. And I have a few singles underneath there too. This drawer is for Maybelline, singles, and palettes. Those City Mini palettes they came out with last year, boy, those are so much better than anything else they've done. I still like playing with the singles, even though they're not quite as good as the palettes, but I don't know, I have a thing about using singles because I feel like it fuels my creativity more, because that way I'm choosing what colors go together rather than if you use a palette, it's pretty much all laid out for you, but that's why I like singles better. This drawer is Catrice and Essence, and some of the Catrice things in here were sent to me by my friend June, and she has more access to Catrice where she is than we do here. She can pretty much get any of their products, whereas we just get whatever they have at Ulta. This drawer is Milani and Jordana, and oh, I forgot to say, Catrice and Essence are both owned by the same company. That's why I have those together. That's also why I have Jordana and Milani together, because they're owned by the same parent company. So these are all my Jordana and Milani eyeshadows. This next drawer is Makeup Revolution. Some of these I bought myself, some of these my friend June sent me as gifts. And this is my LA Colors drawer, which used to have almost nothing in it and now has tons because I've been on an LA Colors kick lately. And you can get LA Colors at Dollar General or Dollar Tree or Family Dollar. This drawer has got Makeup Academy singles from Superdrug, which my friend June sent me in a swap one time. And I've got Body Shop eyeshadows in here. All the Body Shop stores in my area are closed now, so I don't know what's going on with them. These are some Art Deco shadows that my friend June sent me. We don't have that brand here, and neither do we have this brand, Note, that she sent me, and Zoeva. It's funny because when she first sent me this Zoeva palette, I didn't like it, and I actually reviewed it and didn't give it a great review, but then the more I played with it, the more I liked it, and now I feel like maybe I should delete that video because I really do like this palette now. there's one, this is the On Taupe palette. It was limited edition. And I just got to show you this one. I'm trying to open it with one hand. There we go. I want to show you that shade right there. Come on, camera, focus, focus. No, camera doesn't want to focus. But anyways, this is a really nice palette, and I'm glad she sent it to me. These are my Inglot shadows. Initially, my friend June sent me 4 of them. These were the 4 she sent me. Then I started buying them myself, and you can stack them if you buy the quad type holders. I used to go to Las Vegas on vacation a lot, and they have Inglot boutiques out there. So every time I went there, I would pick up a few more. And in the next drawer, I have, does anybody remember Chroma Beauty? That's what the Kardashians called their makeup company when they first started launching makeup. And I love this palette. This is the Shebang palette, and I'll never get rid of that. I love that palette. And I didn't keep the other things that I had bought. I didn't like them, but this palette I do. Then I have some Rimmel singles, and I have some Rimmel palettes, which I like both of those. This is an LA Girl palette. This is a palette full of Shea Moisture eyeshadow singles. Does anybody remember those? They used to sell this at Target, and they're very nice, and they're very big, generous size eyeshadows. I think you can still get them on their website. Matter of fact, I know you can, and they're also marked down like sale price, so I think they're phasing them out, which is too bad because I used to like that makeup brand. And in the last drawer, I have things that I bought from shophush.com. I just remembered the name of that other website that I was struggling to remember. It was shopmissa.com. But these are the palettes that I got from shophush.com. I've got some by Okalon, Face Candy, Bad Company, Bad Habit. Underneath those, this is a palette that I found at Burlington Coat Factory one time. It's the Warm Neutrals palette. These are actually not bad. If you see this, I would recommend this because there's a nice combination of colors and the price was right. And I also have a palette from Kohl's by Academy of Color. This was a dupe for one of the Kylie palettes. And it is also very nice and definitely worth the money. But all these shophush.com palettes, they're really a bargain, and they're pretty much carbon copies of the real thing. So that is it, you guys. That is my updated makeup collection video, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.